And then, the boat sails away with Frankie and Odina on it, and Caleb follows the dock to the end as it heads out into open water. And that is the last we see of Glitchy Caleb, Frankie, and Odina.
Mm-hmm.
And
so why was Caleb so special, Tim?
This is exactly when this episode ended. Sera literally said, "Well, that was annoying. I guess we never find out what made Caleb so special." And we don't. We never find out what it is that Caleb had that Hale didn't. And despite that one guy getting into it with me online, guy on Reddit saying that they clearly explained what made Caleb special. And being an outlier means you're able to adapt and change and not make up your own mind about things. And that the reason he was able to resist Hale's parasites was the love he had for his daughter, which fuck you, because that makes no sense.
That would be just about everybody, like
right.
Anybody with a kid.
Yeah.
Not anybody. Obviously, there's pieces of shit that don't care about their kids.
Sure.
But like, you have a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. We joked about, I guess it was probably a few episodes ago, where we were joking that Caleb's love for his daughter, because it's all daughters in this show, is what was saving him. We didn't think it was going to be the actual plot point. So yeah, there's many shitty parents out there. But if you're telling me Grunty McGrimace over here is resistant because of love, then one would think at least half the people on the planet would be resistant,
right?
And also doesn't answer.
And even if it's not, or if even sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Even if it's not, even if it is, like you said, the outliers, he's special because no, they were hinting at Caleb was like the super special outlier, like not just an outlier,
right?
Like, because then all the outliers are special, and there's a bunch of them. Like,
if everybody's special, nobody's special,
right?
But they had pointed him out in season 3. Like, Caleb is an outlier from the predictions in RoboHam. Mm-hmm. And enough so that Dolores specifically targeted Caleb to make him a part of her resistance, and then to lead the resistance to free the humans from the predictions of RoboHam and let them have their free will and yada, yada, yada. Then he also is an outlier in his resistance to Hale. So if you're telling me that this is all the power of love for his daughter, especially when he hadn't had a daughter yet, then, I mean, fuck you. Because the power of love's been around a long time. It's been around since at least the 80s when they made a song about it. But maybe Hale doesn't get the news.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he just, I guess, sits on that dock and Michael J. Foxes himself away.
and dies. This is where you kill yourself. Oh, yeah, I forgot we have a soundboard. This is
where you kill yourself.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same dock. It'd be hilarious if that was the same dock, but I don't think it was. Because they're in the city, or whatever this model is of New York. Or New York. I don't know. I still don't know if it's supposed to be New York or just a model of New York. But
I think it's supposed to be New York. I mean,
everybody refers to it.
I never got any. Yeah, I never got any. They never told me otherwise. Mm-hmm. So, and what they showed me it's New York, and she took over New York. And didn't they show Statue of Liberty at 1.2? So,
I don't know. That's not in my detailed notes.
Pretty sure they did. Oh, not in this episode, but like episode 6 or 7.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think it's a statue of 2 Hales. And
yeah, there it is.
Oh. You remember how, I don't remember if this happened before we recorded episode 6 or not, or if it was between episode 6 and 7, but I got downvoted a fuck ton on Reddit, on the Westworld subreddit, because I said Caleb was clearly, all those Calebs were deteriorating because of fidelity. And everybody else was coming at me and downvoting me and said, no, Hale clearly genetically engineered him to die quicker. And that's why his body's failing. That fidelity failing has no effect on the body. It's all like the motor function.
We talked about that on the podcast, I believe.
We did.
I said something, I believe, that's what I thought, is that no, he actually has a weak body, because she says something along those lines. Mm-hmm. But No, you were right.
I was right, because there was an article on Deadline where they're interviewing Lisa Joy for the finale, and I'll link to that in the show notes. But an excerpt from this is Lisa Joy saying, what they found is when combining the mind and soul, let's say, of a person's CPU within an artificial body, like a body rejecting an organ donation, it tended to reject that body, and that's why it would break down. And they can kind of stretch the breakdown for longer and longer periods. By the way, Lisa, that's a long sentence. So, but ultimately, it's like the mind knows that this isn't real, and it causes itself to malfunction. And so that's what Hale was doing with Caleb. She would bring him back again and again and watch him degrade while looking for some truth that she believes he withheld from her. Lisa Joy. Fuck you, Reddit. Fuck you. I'm right. You can take your negative 30 and shove it up your ass.
That's funny. Hey, this is another problem I have with the show. Why the fuck did Hale say that? The dialogue in the show is just bullshit. It's all just vague nonsense bullshit. It's okay sometimes because it's kind of fun to talk about, I don't know, make our own interpretations. Okay, sometimes that's fine and it's okay, but man, the whole fucking show's this way.
The whole show is here's some stuff, you connect the dots for us because we can't be bothered to. Pretty much is the show. And yeah, like the dialogue this season is pretty bad and pretty cheesy. And then they basically just repeat the profound lines from like seasons 1 and 2, but they do it so much and in such a way that it kind of makes a joke out of them.
Yeah, like that's exactly what I thought about this episode. I think I even put that on my notes because, like, you know, like especially at the very end when William's saying, you know, the classic fucking lines again.
Yeah,
like can't tell, doesn't matter, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh god, come on.
It's the third time.
Are these the only fucking 5 lines you guys have? Like
they said that line more than I said pedantic in the last episode. Shout out to the guy that called me out for that too on YouTube. Take a drink because I just said it again. If you enjoyed that clip, you might also like our full episode, link right here and in the description. The machines at Google think you might like that one, but are you going to let a machine tell you what you like, or me, a fleshy bag of mostly water? That said, we do need to feed these algorithms before they eat us, so don't forget to like and subscribe before they come for you.